Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Caputo Pizzeria versus the Pizza Neapolitana, the 5 Stagioni. So just look at these pictures, guys. We're in for a real treat here today on this video. That's the Caputo. Here's the Pizza Neapolitana. Some fantastic pizzas coming up. It's time to have a look at the protein levels. So 12.5% for the Caputo, and for the 5 Stagioni we're looking at 13%. So let's start off with the 5 Stagioni. We're going to be following the same recipe for both. So 630 grams of water, 1 gram of yeast, and then we're going to mix that together. So there we go, just giving a mix round. Normally takes a minute or so. We'll edit that out and we'll speed it up. So there we go, all lovely mixed. So add the 1 kilogram of flour. So here's the Pizza Neapolitana that we're going to start off with. And we'll add that to the yeast and water mix. So as we start to mix it together, what you'll notice is that it becomes a real smooth batter-like mix in the first instance, and then once it gets to that point we need to add some more flour, as you can see on the screen. So yeah, just adding a bit more in. So that's about half the bag that's now in there, and it'll start to become a little bit more lumpy and a little bit more difficult to work with. But don't worry, if you've got a fork, just keep going at it. It'll become more like a bit more of a thick cake mixture than it will do the runny stuff. So once all the lumps are out as much as you can, add some more flour in and continue to mix that in with your fork for as long as you can. So we're now at the stage where we need to pour the remaining flour onto the work surface, and we need to get that mix out of the bowl. So we are just pouring that out now. Now I made a little bit of an error. I forgot to save a little bit of flour to scrape out the bowl. So I'm just going underneath the dough mix and getting some dry flour out just to scrape it off. But one of the good things I've noticed about this flour is that it will take all the moisture, and look at that, it's cleaning that bowl out perfectly. So it's a good sign that the flour will take all the water that we've added. So once you clean the bowl out, it's time to mix and knead. So folding in as much of that flour as you can. So that is the entire 1 kilogram of flour there. So it's either in the dough or it's on the work surface. There's no additional flour added at all. So one of the things I'm noticing straight away here is it's quite easy to work with this dough. Brilliant flour so far. It's taken the 63% hydration that we're giving it at the start with no problems at all, not sticky at all at this point. So I reckon it could probably go up to 70. We'll have to try that in the next video. But have you used the 5 Stagioni before? Have you used it at higher hydration? Please let me know how you got on in the comments. It really will help me for the future video. And speaking of future videos, we've got some exciting news coming up about our next video in November, so stick around. I'll be making a bit of an announcement later on. So by the looks of it, it's ready to shape into a ball now. So that's what we just start to do. So again, not sticky, hands are really clean. So cover for an hour. And after the hour, it's time to add in the salt. So just unstick that from the work surface. You see it's nice and relaxed now, the dough, which is great. So let's add in 20 grams of salt. And again, just opening up the dough and sprinkling a little bit of salt in, then folding that in and reopening the dough again to add in the salt gradually. Just helps doing it this technique in making sure the salt is evenly distributed within the dough. So there, just folding it in again, making a little bit of a hole in the middle, and put the rest of the salt in. And now what's left just needs to, there we go, that's the rest of it in. Make sure it's all in. So now we need to just knead it just for 5 minutes or so, and that just makes sure that all the salt is in and it's all evenly mixed into the dough. So did notice it was starting to get a little bit sticky at this point, so just started to just slap it onto the work surface. But now it's time to shape it into a ball. So there we go. Let's have a bit of a closer look at that. So So there you go, lovely and smooth, and looks fantastic. So we'll put it in to the bowl. There we go, just one more close up. And we'll place that in the bowl. And of course, you know what's next, don't you? Yep, it's time to cover it with that shower cap. We're going to let it rest for about 19 hours. So, it's time to look at the Caputo. So, as I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to be using the same recipe. So, 630 grams of water. And we'll be adding in 1 gram of yeast. In that goes. And then we'll mix those things together. So, let's speed it up. There we go. So once that's all mixed in, it's then time to add in the Caputo Pizzeria. So like last time, just gradually add in that flour. And then it's time to mix it all together. So again, just mix it until it becomes smooth in the first instance. So like a batter. So keep mixing it with a fork, knock all the lumps out, and then when it's smooth, add in a little bit more flour. And keep mixing it as the mix becomes more stiff. So the more lumps you get out at this stage, the easier the kneading is going to be. So again, add a little bit more in, and what you'll notice is again it'll become more like the previous dough that we had. So I don't think we're going to get any more in there, so let's pour a bit out on the work surface, but this time I'm going to leave some spare in the bag, so that when I've poured that out, I've got enough flour to clean out the bowl. And again, what I found with this Pizzeria Caputo is it was, again, really good. Took all the water, no problem, no real sticking, and the bowl was very clean. So again, using the folding technique to get all that flour into the mix. So that is 1 kilogram of flour. Again, no excess flour used at all. So it has to be said, the Caputo Pizzeria is probably the most popular flour that I've seen people using on the various Facebook groups that are out there. Is this something that you've used before? Please leave a comment. What are your experiences? So thanks everyone as well for subscribing to the channel. It really does help. I'm so pleased with the 620 of you who have subscribed. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really does mean a lot. And please feel free to share the video, share it with your friends. If you like what you see, please, as always, leave a like. So the Caputo looks like it's mixed and kneaded now sufficiently. Just going to give it a couple of taps now. It's just starting to become a little bit sticky, but we'll just roll it into the bowl and just shape it round, and we're going to cover it for an hour. So after the hour, there we go, you can see it, we're nice and relaxed, and now we're going to add in the 20 grams of salt. So in that goes, and like last time, we'll just fold it over and then sprinkle in some more salt and just keep folding it, and that just makes sure that the salt is evenly distributed again within the dough. So that's all the salt in, and it's now ready for another quick mix around. Shouldn't take too long, more like 5 minutes like the last time, and then we'll be ready again to put it in the bowl. So just whilst we're mixing the salt in, I didn't mention an announcement, so I'm going to be looking at the vegetarian pizza oven by Joe Anderson in the next video. So you can catch Joe over on Eat and Tweet, that's his channel. Give him a check out. It's some fantastic recipes. He's just done some bagels, they look absolutely fantastic. And I'll pop you a link to the channel in the description. So yeah, don't forget to go and check him out. So here we go, we just nicely kneading and mixing that together. One thing I did notice about the Caputo whilst I was putting the salt in, it was becoming particularly wet and sticky at this stage, so just knocking it against the work surface. So let's put that into a bowl now, just shaping it round, and it's looking fantastic, nice and smooth. There you go, a bit more of a close-up. So let's put that in the bowl. And as always, you know what's coming next? Yes, it's the shower cap. So let's leave that for about 19 hours. So after 19 hours, it's time to boil them up. Let's start with the Le Five Stagioni. So here we go. Let's have a look. Look at all that gluten. Fantastic. And you just know from looking at the pizza dough like this, you know, it's going to be so good to work with, and it's going to be really, really stretchy. Absolutely brilliant. So after 19 hours, let's just see. Sorry about some of the camera work here, but I was trying to do this one-handed, so I'm trying to do the window test, but probably very badly. But stretching it over my fingers, and as you can see, there's no tear in there. So it's going to be some real great pizza. Leave a comment. What do you think so far? Look at that structure. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really going to be some good pizza, this. So we're going to make the balls now. So 230 grams per pizza ball. So just got a little bit of semolina flour in, just so it doesn't stick anywhere. And if you like the video, please drop us a subscribe. It really, really does help the channel. And once again, thanks to everybody who has subscribed. So again, forms nicely into a ball. Now, I have been using these from Poundland, £1.25 for 7. Nice round little tub container, ideal for the pizza maker. So they're from Poundland in the UK. So just putting the lid on, and now it's time for the Caputo. So let's have a look at the Caputo. Let's open that up. And again, look at all that gluten. So very little between the flowers. Very, very little. Lots of structure. Really, really stretchy. So after 19 hours again, and again, apologies for the camera work. This is trying to do everything one-handed. But again, you can see it's very, very strong. The flour, the dough. Look at that. Looks fantastic. So again, please give us a subscribe if you like what you see. It always helps. And again, drop us a like. But look at that structure. Yeah, fantastic. Nothing between the flowers at the minute. So again, 230 grams per ball. We'll get 7 pizza bases out of that. So again, just getting it away out. A little bit of semolina flour just in case on the work surface, in case it becomes really sticky. But in this case it doesn't. Forms quite nicely in your hands. Just brush away the excess. A little bit of a spin round. A little bit into them tubs from Poundland. And pop the lid on. So now we need to let these rest for about 5 hours. So after 5 hours, it's now time for pizza time. So we're using the Mutti sauce today. We've got the buffalo mozzarella, a bit of grated mozzarella, some jalapenos, ham and pepperoni. So let's start with the Le Five Stagioni. So a bit of semolina flour onto the work surface. And we will now just pop a little bit into the pizza ball tub. Just give that a little bit of a shake round, and then, well, there you go. Comes out as easy as that. So just a quick dip in the semolina both sides, and then as you can see, as usual, pushing it out with my fingers, and then rolling out the pizza base. Shift the excess away off the work surface, and again, there was no tearing, no sticking. A couple of air bubbles on the crust, which we will just burst in a second. And one last time, just stretching that out, and then we got a perfect 10-inch pizza base. So on with the Mutti pizza sauce. It was fantastic, by the way, this on both pizzas. Really enjoyed it. So you can get yourself some from Sainsbury's. It's just under about £2 a can. So on with the grated mozzarella and then the buffalo mozzarella. If you put the grated mozzarella on first and then the buffalo mozzarella on the top, it does prevent burning of the grated stuff, in case you like to have a bit of grated mozzarella on there. Putting on the pepperoni and some ham. I know some of you like to have the ham on after the cooking. I like mine on before. I think it just tastes nice when it's all crisped up. Just my personal preference. Bit of reshaping, and then it's off to the pizza oven. So the oven 400 degrees, and let's get it in there. So we have speeded this up just for the purposes of this video. It's quite a long video, but if you check out some of the other videos, I actually filmed this part in real time. But it's uncut. I haven't cut any of this out, so it's just speeded up. So here we go, ready for the first turn. So we're just going to turn this 180 degrees. So what was at the back of the oven is now at the front of the oven. It's looking fantastic. And as I always say, if you could have smell-o-vision, it'd be really good. You might notice as well on the right hand side, there's a piece of ash that's just fallen down. Luckily, the wind didn't put it into the pizza. That would have been a bit of a disaster. So when I was filming this with Oliver, I was very conscious of that happening. Luckily it didn't. So just on to the final few turns now. And really was cooking fantastic. Look at that nice close up there. And in with the shovel. Look at that, looks fantastic. So let's have a closer look. So nice and crisp, and also very soft. Let's have a look underneath. No major burning there. That looks fantastic. So that is the finished product for the Le Five Stagioni. And again, open that pizza. Looks fantastic, and it really did taste fantastic. And the sauce is also very good. So that is the final one for the Le Five Stagioni. On to Caputo now. So same again. We'll get the pizza bowl out of the Poundland tubs, and as you can see, it's working really nicely. Comes out clean as a whistle. So just give each side a bit of a dunking in the semolina flour and then just pushing it out. So one thing you might just be noticing, there is a time difference between the two flours, about 90 minutes. So you'll notice in the last recording that when we made the pizza it was light. When you come to this one, you'll see that it's dark. So both pizza doughs had exactly the same time of fermentation and rest periods, which was 24 hours in total. So spreading that out, another nice 10-inch pizza. On with the Mutti pizza sauce, and then we're going to put some Parmigiano on. Here we go, just sprinkle a bit of the old Parmigiano on. It always goes well with the pizza. A little bit of the old grated mozzarella as well. And then, as the same with the previous video, stick some buffalo mozzarella on. All that will melt over the top of the grated mozzarella. So if you like a really cheesy pizza, put your grated on first, then your buffalo on the top, and you'll not suffer with any of the issues with burning. Right, a bit more pepperoni, and we're going to stick some more ham on here. On that ham goes, and next we'll put it on to the peel. A little bit of stretching and reshaping, and we're ready to go again into the pizza oven. So same temperature. As you notice, it's a bit darker now, and again this is speeded up, but no cutting. No, we haven't cut anything out. So one of the differences here with the Caputo pizza flour is it did kind of make a bit of a thicker, more airy crust. So you'll see as it cooks, we did get a better rise on the Caputo than we did on the Le Five Stagioni. But, yep, it's just cooking away. We've got rid of the ash as well, which is great. And just turning that around now. Really is making my mouth water just doing the commentary over this now. Fantastic. Really did behave well. Sorry about the wind, it really was starting to get windy. We filmed this in mid-October. So if you like what you see, again, please give us a subscribe. But look at that, looks fantastic. So let's have a closer look. So as you can see, we did get a better raised crust on this one. Underneath, not too much burning there, pretty much the same as the 5-star Ghione. But look at the difference with the crust. A remarkable difference between the two. And we've used pretty much the same ingredients, same measurements, same fermentation time, same room temperature. So this is one of the big differences between the two. So that is the Caputo Pizzeria flour. Fantastic looking pizza. Look at that crust. So let's look to conclude. With the 5-star Ghione, it's made from 100% renewable energy, organic wheat. They use really old methods, and it's $6.99 for 2 1 kilogram bags of flour. In terms of using it, it probably could have took a little bit more hydration than 63%, and we'll probably check that on a future video. For Caputo, yep, you can get this from the Philo store from about £1.49 for a 1 kilogram bag. Really fantastic flour, performed really well. On the Caputo website, they advise to do a 24-hour room temperature followed by a 48-hour cold temperature prove. So we might try that out in a future video. So in conclusion, I think this one's pretty much a score draw. Both flours have got their advantages and disadvantages, but they are pretty much very similar. So leave a comment, like the video, and if you can, subscribe, and we'll see you the next time. Bye for now.